two sides teetering on the edge of the top six. We'll be going head-to-head in round 10 as the Celtic Dragons make the long journey down to take on the Super Rugby champions, the Crusaders. This game is going to be more than just a one match. It could turn out to be a season-defining matchup for which the side comes out on top. Hello again everyone and welcome back along to your home of rugby in the Global Rugby Challenge, the series where you guys take the field against the world's elite. Today, the Crusaders are at home and they are hosting the Celtic Dragons, and like I say before, what's going to become a very pivotal matchup in both these sides' season. The winner obviously is going to go much more towards claiming one of those playoff spots, whereas a loser may well go over for their season and miss out on what will be the ultimate goal for every team in the competition. The Crusaders sit down in 8th position with a 4-win, 5-loss record so far in this season, but they only sit a couple of points away from cracking back inside that top 6. And the most recent results have been a bit mixed by the Super Rugby champions, with a loss to the Guardians of the Crib a couple of rounds ago in round 8, 24 points to 10, but they bounced back for that nicely, taking out the Exeter Chiefs in round number 9, 22 points to 18. The tasks are getting easier for them though as they try to even the ledger of results. But you look at the caliber of players in this team and there's no doubt about it that these are the guys that can get the job done. It's pretty much an all black pack with Moody, Taylor and Franks along the front row. Scott Barrett and Sam Whitelock will be behind those boys. Vetu Douglas, Matt Todd and Kieran Reid complete the 8. Moving into the back line, Mitchell Drummond will start at scrum half of Richie Mwanga and the number 10 jumper Ryan Crotty and Jack Goodhue at 12 and 13. George Bridge on the left wing, Sevi Reese on the right, and David Havili will be in the number 15 jumper for the Crusaders. There's no question why these guys are Super Rugby champions. A quality team, quality players, but can they get the job done when the pressure is on against the Dragons? Well, we will find out over the next 80 minutes. That is the case here tonight in round number 10. The Dragons with a long trip, a long journey here to get to Canterbury to take on the Crusaders. Their team has undergone multiple changes in the lead up to it as well. Now they sit 5th, a far cry from the 8th of the Crusaders on the table, but only a few points separate these two sides, and a loss here for the Dragons would see the possibility that they could fall behind the Crusaders as well. Their form throughout the season has been very hot and cold, but most recently, after coming off the bye in round 8, they've looked in the tip-top shape, taking out Toulouse 28 points to 14 in their first game back. Now, after they have to follow up a season with 5 wins, 2 draws, yes, 2 draws, and of course only the 1 loss so far, they look like a team that could challenge if they get things to click in the remainder of the season. The team for tonight's matchup, the 15, will be as follows. Regan Hall in the number 1. Daniel Jenkins, the try-scoring hooker, will return to his number 2 jumper, and Ray Allenson will be alongside that front row in number 3. Into the senior rows, the double Moriartys with Max and Finley taking up the whole middle of the pack, and then Adam Minnitt-Jones will be at 6, Caleb Cook 7, and Craig Anderson will round out the forwards. Moving in to the back line is Banabakintu Daniel at scrum half, and Steve Tecogs moves inside the captain, running things from fly half. Midfield will be Christian Tornatora and Oscar Connolly together again, with Will Rogers moving to the left wing. Ian Ferguson on the right hand side, and Benji Cook will wear the number 15 tonight for the Dragons. Well, there is a lot on the line tonight here as we get ready for kick-off. The two sides are set to go. You can see the Celtic Dragons playing their away strips tonight. The mainly white, the blue stripe down the side up against the Crusaders. And of course, the red and black is underway. We go. It's the second match of round 10, and the Crusaders take down the kickoff. A fiery start as well with Franks through the middle, getting support play on his outside from his big front row partner, Cody Taylor. Crusaders one phase that made about 30 metres. The Sevi Reese continues on the action, cutting back inside, but it's Benji Cook who just slows them down enough. What a start, fiery start too from the Crusaders, but the Dragons, well, they slow it down, they turn it over, and Craig Anderson with a pick and go. The big boy loses the ball, and it's back to the Crusaders. One phase and done for the Dragons at the moment. As this has been an electric start with these two sides. Now, a little bit of calm and normalcy returns as Sevi Reese has a bit of a nothing play down the short side, but the Dragons turn it back over. This is helter-skelter stuff early on as Oscar Connolly gets a great little shimmy back inside. He's waiting for it as Anderson. A rare two-phase play from the Dragons. Back in field it goes.
Release.
And into contact with Caleb Cook. Now left side wing. A chance for Will Rogers. Seven Reeks drags him down right on the halfway line. It's been action aplenty in the opening couple of minutes. There's another hit up from the Dragons. Puts him back towards centre field. Here's Caleb Cook out wide. Will Rogers again. Gets on the outside of Reese this time. Beautiful ball back inside. Tecox with one to beat. Can't get away.
Release.
And the Dragons, after weathering a very early and ferocious storm, have fired their way straight back into this game. Anderson, Daniel. Oh, offloads brilliantly. And they keep it going. It's a high tackle. Oh, and a yellow card to boot as well for the Crusaders. This game has started off at a frantic pace. Yellow card. That is the end of Cody Taylor for 10 minutes. Now Steve Tecox, well, he's got the captaincy. And he's opted to go for the corner. Great kick from Tecox in the end. Sam Whitelock shaking his head. They couldn't quite save it. Now here is Daniel Jenkins. 15-16 minutes in now. Jenkins throws a 5-man option. He goes to Finley Moriarty. Now 5 out, they hold up a ball, going to the blind side, and Will Rogers changes direction back into open field. Play! And straight through goes Caleb Cook, untouched off the offload! And the first try is scored to the big man, who charges over in the number 7 jumper. What a start for the Dragons. It looked like they would be on the receiving end early, but they have turned the tide. Something remarkable here. Caleb Cook scores, and the yellow card pays its price early. Finley Moriarty took the line out. Allenson turned it back to Rogers, who went back outside to, I think, Daniel Jenkins. And a miraculous ball from the hooker, who has been in insatiable form this season so far. Gets a try assist to the big boy on the open side flank. Now here is the first shot at goal, and it's going to be Will Rogers with the duties off the tee tonight. Steve Tecox is going to be doing the role play from number 10. He's going to be directing the game, but when it comes to the tee, it looks like Will Rogers will be the man to hold that position. We are 20 minutes in, and we have a 7-0 scoreline. Dragons over the Crusaders, nice and early on. Here's back underway we go. Missed by the Dragons, saved by the try scorer, and they run it back. Oh, just about a chance here for Oscar Connolly. Anchors a space in front of him, but went for the territorial gain instead. Here's Goodhue, popping it back, Mwanga, back inside to Moody.
Not releasing.
Oh, penalty again to the Dragons. Joe Moody wrapped up in the breakdown, not releasing the ball. Penalty Dragons. Another decision to be made for Tecox. And he goes to the corner again, and why not? The last time was so successful. This one, not so much. As Whitelock does save it from going into touch this time. And they charge their way out of the 22. So, a bit of an error there for Tecox as the kick away from Goodhue is a very good kick. Curling in the wind and finding touch on the bounce. Well, it seems to be Tecox not allowing that wind effect into his toll of kicking. As we see Cody Taylor return to the field, the scoreline 7-0, could have been worse. That is definitely the case, as here is Daniel Jenkins, his opposite number. Through into a 5-man line out again is Finley Moriarty, who's the man to take it at Tecox. Into midfield it goes, and it's a big charging run of Anderson. Offloads around the corner to Max Moriarty. How wide they go! And running away is Oscar Connolly. They won't stop him. The charging chase from George Bridge is not enough. And Oscar Connolly scoots round the outside and scores the second try. Beautiful play from the Dragons, and they show just how easy it can be. Well, rugby is a simple game when you've got the initiative of a simple game plan that manipulates defences in the way that play did. Craig Anderson hit the line, beautifully threaded the needle back to Max Moriarty. Huge wide pass out to about 4 or 5 Dragons players who could have taken it in, but he hit the money man. He hits Oscar Connolly, who scoots down the sideline. Plenty of support there. Ian Ferguson, Christian Tornatore, Benji Cook, all racing up behind him as well. Unrequired, great try, Dragons. And we have a great start too by the visiting team, who are now up 12-0 after half an hour. Kick to come. Will Rogers puts it over. Nice kick from the left-hand touchline first, now the right. And he is showing the job perfectly at the moment for the Dragons. They got their 15th man back to the Crusaders. And instantly, they conceded the second try, which is rather ironic, is it not? Back underway we go. And another bout of possession here for the Dragons. They're chopping it left and right for a beautiful pass from Daniel. Finds some more space through the middle of the park. And eventually, Minnif Jones, who takes it up to halfway, holding it up left and right for Cook. Gets it on the outside again to Moriarty. Cuts it back in nicely to Tornatore. And the power inside centre. Gets more fusion on it. Loomis! Ferguson! And Ferguson out wide to Oscar Connolly. Sweeps out a 1. Can't get away from 2 and 3. Oh, Ian Ferguson almost put on a silver platter for his second try. But it wasn't quite enough as we make our way now towards half-time. The scoreline is 14 points to 0 in the 36th minute. Just about gave them a free 20 points there the way they were going, the Dragons. It's been a turnover line-out though, and the Crusaders lose out in the set piece as here come the Dragons. One ball outside, it's Craig Anderson. One more, who else but Oscar Connolly gets it outside. And Christian Tornatore gets a gift of a try from his midfield partner. Third try unanswered at the moment by the Crusaders. And this was beautiful. Allenson, Jenkins, huge pass out to Craig Anderson, took out Reese. Oscar Connolly could have gone himself, but he unselfishly again gives to Christian Tornatore. Down the inside centre grabs his try. We pumped him up before about how good he's been this season, Tornatore, and he just finishes that a plum, no problems. And it shows the combination between 12 and 13 is alive and well for the Celtic Dragons tonight. Well, they could possibly make this 21-0. And just one try required in the second half for a bonus point. This has been a dominant display so far from the visitors. There goes the buzzer. And there goes another 2 points. 21-0. What a display so far from the Celtic Dragons, who hold this game well and truly in control as we head to the sheds for half-time. This has been a display and a half off the plane into the action by the Dragons. Look at these stats as well. Possession 72% to just 28. That is dominance as well. Line break 6-1. And of course the high tackles, the penalties, the yellow cards effectively proving to be a big down point for the Crusaders. When they lost that man, the heads dropped and they haven't found their way back up since. Maybe a bit of a bollocking from the coach at halftime will get things back on track, but you'd expect Tickhogs will have this team humming in the second 40 minutes as underway we go again. One try away from the bonus point. That's Christian Tornatore. Takes down the kickoff for the Dragons. They fight hard for the ball. And they just manage to hang on to it as well. Daniel gets his kick away. And that's not a bad one as well from Barabakintu. Daniel. He finds it just over here to the cameraman. Good clearance kick too from the scrum half. The Crusaders line-out has been a little bit shaky, of course. Remember, they lost the final line-out before the half-time break, and that is, of course, when that third try was scored, which effectively put a bit of a hammer in their plans for this matchup. Beautiful play. What a set piece from the midfield there. Crotty and Godieu combining perfectly. Now out wide, Ryan Crotty will finish the job. Oh, he started it brilliantly, and he finishes it fantastically out on the right. Well, we talked about how a bollocking from the coach may transform this team in the second half, but how about this? Richie Moanga started off Crotty and Goodhue right there. Then it went wide after the cut through the middle, and Ryan Crotty did a lot of work to get out wide. You see Crotty there, there's where he spun, way out wide. Eventually Reed, straight to the guts. Oh, that is fantastic work by a number of Crusaders players. And the ability to know where to put yourself in the space required to get that pass is just phenomenal. And after looking so dead in the opening 40 minutes, they have somehow sparked into life. Here is Richie Mo'unga, way out on the right-hand edge. And as you'd expect, no mistake there from the All Blacks fly half. He puts it over. A little respectability now back in the scoreline at 21-7. But that only just took minutes from the half kicking off. Steve Tickox now has to make sure his boys do not drop the heads as underway we go again. Down to Todd, and he sits it back inside Crotty again involved. And now Fitu Douglas. Strong run there for the blindside flanker. It's more ball for the Crusaders. Whitelock, Franks changes directions, and now Moody out to Todd again. It's the numbers from Mo'unga, giving a nicely out to Taylor. Taylor can't quite link up with the waiting and expectant Jack Goodhue on the sidelines. Want a little bit more ball there, a little bit more room. As Daniel Jenkins will throw it to the lineouts. Takes his time here again. This is a 5-man option. It's stolen! Oh, Sam Whitelock is starting to get into his work. Here is Franks driving his way in through midfield again. They go out wide. Beautiful inside pass and a high tackle now. Oh, this could be catastrophic. We see in the first half for the Crusaders. Looks like Oscar Connolly may be going to the bin. 10 minutes with 14 men. This is game-changing right now. The Crusaders conceded 7, but they lost their way. Can the Dragons hold on to their heads? Can they defend? Can they maintain over the next 10 minutes? Cody Taylor, full 7-man line-outs. He goes to the front. Nicely out wide from Drummond. Here's Goodhue inside pass, brilliant as well. Oh, they love that inside ball. Brilliant turnover though, Will Rogers. On to that in a flash. And he rakes off 50 metres as well to put his team in a much more comfortable place. Oh, another high tackle now. Ben Ferguson, could it be 2? Don't tell me it's so. This will be disaster for the Celtic Dragons. And look at Steve Tickox. He can't believe it. 2 men in the bin. And the turnaround has been astronomical in the second half. As the kick to touch is perfectly placed from Richie Mo'unga. And we are seeing such a different 2 sides in the second half. Taylor to throw. Huge one as well. Hits his man in the front. Scott Barrett does the job. Mo'unga to Crotty. Crotty and out wide they go. Reed, one more to Todd. There's no one home. No defence at all for the Dragons. There is no one left. They run out of players. 13 on 15. That is a disaster to be able to defend that. When you've got to put a full 7-man line out together, there is no way you can compete with the numbers in the backline. And they quite simply just run out. Matt Todd gets the try. And you've got to give it to the Crusaders here. They have executed this plan brilliantly. You've just got to know where the players aren't. You've lost 2 players on defence. You can't cover that up. No band-aid will work. And sadly for the Dragons, this is going to be a tough few minutes with 2 players down. Of course, there is only just over a quarter of an hour to play. As Richie Mo'unga makes this a 7-point ball game. We are on for a finish here. It is 21-14. The Dragons lead by 7 after it being a 21-0 lead at the break. Who will hold their heads together? The pressure is massive on both sides of these teams as we get it back underway. And Moody, what an offload as well. Brilliant to find Sam White up there. Penalty to the Dragons. Oh, that is massive. Kieran Reid not releasing the ball after a fluid motion. And on comes the 2 players back on the no, just one. That is Oscar Connolly. There's still a man in the bin. And that'll be Ian Ferguson. Look at this though. Back to the action. Steve Tickox, a man who has kicked to touch every penalty so far, is going for 3. What a mark of respect here. What a show of how close this game is. As Will Rogers does not disappoint. 24-14. The lead is now 10. It's a 2-score game for the Crusaders. And we have a lot to go yet. 13 minutes still to play. It's back underway we go. And back to 15 men are the Dragons. That is a dodgy play at the breakdown there. Will Rogers holds it up, out wide, through it goes to the midfield, eventually to ground through Tornatore, and then a penalty! Oh, that was too plain to see. They went out wide looking to try and get something from Oscar Connolly. And it showed there was no yellow card there, and so I'm surprised that Ian Ferguson is running back on now. Either way you look at it, there's definitely now 15 on 15, but a penalty to the Crusaders puts them with another golden chance to put this game very, very tight for the last 10. Well, they're not running their support at the moment, are the Dragons. That was a real shocker for Oscar Connolly, but now the chance as Scott Barrett takes it at the front, fires the pass straight to midfield, and through they go! Jack Goodhue scores! Oh, that was so easy! 15 men back on the field, but you wouldn't know it. The Dragons, a massive defensive lapse. And that was simple. Barrett held it up. They didn't go against him either. And Crotty just took it to the line, passed simply and basically to Jack Goodhue, who slid straight through for the try. Oh, that was simple. That was schoolboy rugby by the Crusaders, and it was, well, less than schoolboy rugby defence from the Dragons. We have a grandstand finish on our hands here, team. Do not go anywhere. The Dragons, their lead will be cut here surely to just 3 points it is. And now Kieran Reid must be looking back at that penalty for not releasing he gave away maybe 10 minutes ago. Could be the difference in this game. There is going to be a winner one way or another. A try to the Crusaders will win it. Some defensive stoutness for the Dragons will win it for them as Tekok is back underway. What a take there! Brilliant work from Regan Hall, and through the middle is Tornatore. Gets very close in the 22. Here's Daniel, back to Connolly, who's really fallen off the pace, and a turnover now to the Crusaders, and through the middle goes Douglas. Fatu Douglas to the 10-metre line. Crusaders with 2 minutes to play. Pick and go from Franks. Here's Todd. Out to the left side they go. Ryan Crotty. Held up in the tackle. Release. Good tackle, Caleb Cook. Half a minute on the clock. They go open side. Moanga. Huge space here for Goodhue. Goodhue needs a frag. He fends off. Will Rogers can't get it wide. Semu Reese screaming for the ball. Now he gets it. He picks, he goes. He runs it off. They go back short side. Big chance now. Cody Taylor. He's all alone. 3 defenders. And they scrag him into touch. That is it. All over. The Dragons hang on by a whisker. And that was scary for the visiting team. A resurgent Crusaders is certainly something no team wants to find themselves against on the rugby field, and that is exactly what has happened here tonight. 21-0 down at halftime, 2 yellow cards for the Dragons, and it all fell apart. They only have 1 penalty to thank, and that was from Kieran Reid giving it away, and Will Rogers slotting the 3 points. He also slotted 3 conversions, and it was tries to Caleb Cook, Christian Tornatore, and Oscar Connolly. On the other side of the ledge of the home team, Matt Todd, Ryan Crotty, and Jack Goodhue getting a try apiece. Of course, Richie Moanga nailing all 3 kicks. Boy, oh boy, this was close. Look at those stats. Pretty much 50-50 all the way down. Line break 7-all. The ultimate decider, though, yellow cards. Whoa, that was a game and a half. Dragons survive by just 3, 24-21. Oh my goodness me, that has been a game of rugby. I tell you what, round 10 has certainly stepped up a gear when it comes to the competitiveness of this competition. The table now, following that second result of round 10, sees the Celtic Dragons up into 4th position, leapfrogging the Guardians of the Crib. Remember, it was just a 3-point margin, so the Crusaders as well grab themselves 1 bonus point. Of course, 3 tries to nothing at half time. The Dragons could not pick up that fourth try, so no bonus point for them to go closer to the Toa, who still, of course, have a game to play. They are up next. Oh, Leinster and the Crusaders, their season could have been so much different if round 10 fell in their favour. Of course, Leinster fell to the Flakers by just 6 points in the opening game. A last-minute penalty putting that up from 3 to 6 could have been so much different. And now, very similar, the Crusaders going down by 3 and a golden chance to really upset the apple cart. They were the only two teams really in a chance to knock out one of the subscriber sides from the top 6. Now, it looks like we've got our top 6 certainly, maybe, in stone. But the All Flakes are possibly the team under jeopardy, alongside the Guardians, to be fair as well. Still 3 rounds, I think, to go in the competition. Hagwade still at the top, though, 35 games to play this round over the Flakers, of course, also on 35. But down the bottom, you've got to say, Glasgow on. It is all over for those boys. They are here just to be that banana skin team. So looking through round 10 now, we've had 2 absolute stunning games so far. The Flakers by 6 over Leinster and the Dragons by 3 over the Crusaders. Glasgow are up next, up against the Pacific Toa. That probably doesn't promise the sort of excitement that we've seen from those first 2 games, but we will tune into it regardless. Clermont versus Exeter. Hagwade's All Flakes. Ooh, can't wait for that. Saracens, Guardians, going to be another stunner as well. And that does do it for today's matchup in round number 10. A very tight and a very close win for the Celtic Dragons over the Crusaders. That is what rugby is all about, taking your chances and having your moments. A big win, a massive win for this season. Next up, of course, Toa versus Glasgow. I hope to see you all here for it as well. Each and every game coming your way. Thank you all for tuning and watching, and I hope you're enjoying this series so far as well. Until next time, though, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you then. Take care.